And welcome back to 1510 WUFC Boston, coming to you live from Manning Field in beautiful Lynn, Massachusetts. I'm Brad Johnson, bringing you the second half of NEFL semi-pro football action between the Merrimack Valley Pride and the North Shore Generals as we get squared to kick off the second half of this very exciting Saturday night game. I was just opening the windows of the booth, and now I was saying to myself, man, you can really smell the salt water here on this part of Boston, and it's a breezy, breezy night as the Generals lead the Pride 7-0. Pride are set to receive as the Generals, as we await them to take the field. Back deep for the Pride are Jonathan De Los Santos and Ramon Herrera, who are back deep, and we still await the Generals to come on the field. And as we await this, we'll do a quick little recap. Their quarterback, Mr. Awada, was the only person to score for the Generals on about a 30, 40-yard kick, and he scored the lone touchdown of the game. As far as the Pride goes, their offense was pretty stagnant for about 2 quarters until, with 40 seconds left to go in the game, there was a touchdown pass thrown by Jason Fisher to Alex Andrews. The touchdown ball was subsequently called back on a chop block from the Generals. And I'm going to tell you what, I saw that lineman, and I didn't see the chop block. Lineman was David Figueroa. They fought for it. They took the touchdown back, and it stayed 7-0 as we await the kickoff. The Generals finally are taking the field. Looks like what we were waiting for were the referees to come out of their locker room as they made a late entrance, but now we are set to kick things off. Once again, this is 1510 WUFC Boston. I'm Brad Johnson. You can follow me on Twitter at BJohnsonRadio, or you can follow me on Instagram at Brad2321. One of the great things that we also have the opportunity to do, besides bringing you NEFL, is also you can listen to my man, Tom Quinlan, only on 1510 WUFC for the Q spot as he handles all of your New England Revolution wants, needs, and desires. I've been working with the great Tommy Q for a few years now, and if there's anybody more passionate than football, I'd like to see what he has done with the help of the New England Revolution and 1510 is amazing, and please catch him weekdays. And we're set to kick off. Back to receive. Kick is good. Jonathan De Los Santos fills the ball at about the 10-yard line, brings it up to 20, the 22, the 23, the 24, spins, and is taken down at about the 27-yard line. 17-yard return from Jonathan De Los Santos on that play. De Los Santos had the opportunity to catch a couple of great touchdown passes earlier as well. Unfortunately, did not come to fruition. As we head off the beginning of this third quarter of action, the stadium lights have come on. This is a gorgeous field here as what they call the Manning Bowl. If you've never been out to Lynn, Massachusetts, gorgeous facilities here in the press box as we await Jason Fisher's first offensive series of the second half. I'd like to give a shout-out to Jay Bryant of Jay Bryant's Barbecue. You can visit those guys on Union Street. And I had the opportunity to be a part of a couple pig roasts there. And I have to say, if you've never been to a pig roast, make sure you know what you're going to first, and I'll leave it at that. Make sure you know what you're going to first. Jason Fisher bringing up the troops for first down of this second half from the eye. Quick handoff to Luis Mendoza, who jarts up for about 20 yards, still on his feet, runs at the 50, the 45, the 40, before he's taken out of bounds. Luis Mendoza with about a 27-yard carry right out of the gate. Again, Luis Mendoza, not your normal tailback for the Pride, but on that one, it looks like he took off like a rocket out of there. I'm not sure what Keith Shear said, but he did take off like a rocket. Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of that play, there was a late flag. It looks like it's going to be holding against the Pride, which is going to bring that 27-yard run right back to where they're started. Did I say this first half, ladies and gentlemen? Did I say this first half? When you kick yourself when you are up, it's going to hurt, and they did it again. They did it again. It looks like, to me, that offense, I hate to say it, but if you're having a good play, are you having a good play because you're holding someone? Play good, ladies and gentlemen. Play it fair, and you're going to have good results. That's going to make them replay first down. Jason Fisher under center in the I formation. Ball is snapped. Ball is handed off to Luis Mendoza, who fumbles it. Ball is fumbled, recovered by the Generals. Anthony Whitney with the fumble recovery. Anthony Whitney out of Chelsea. Looks like that may be a big reason Luis Mendoza does not handle a lot of the carrying duty. It was a simple handoff. He fumbled the ball earlier. Instead of falling on the ball like every great and good running back should do, he tried to pick the ball up and run it, and that caused another fumble in which Anthony Whitney saw it, and instead of trying to pick it up to go for 6, he fell on the ball. That caused the third turnover of the game for the Pride, putting the Generals in great scoring position as they take over right at about the 22-yard line. Kevin Amparo brings the troops up. Quick handoff to number 11, who drifts through the middle of the defense to about the 10-yard line. Jesse Pierce, the speedster, came over on a quick handoff. Again, coming over from slot. He just does that simple where you see it all the time. The slot receiver comes on a delayed motion. As soon as he gets to the quarterback hands it off, bounces right up off that tackle, skips through the defense for about 12 yards. Now they're looking at first and goal. Amparo from the shotgun calls for the ball. Ball is snapped. Another quick handoff, this time to Chris Lane. Chris Lane across the end. Finally tackled down by Luis Mendoza and Omari Mobley for about 2 yards on the carry. Once again, the speedster Chris Lane tried to get to the corner but could not beat Omari Mobley and Luis Medina around. That's going to bring up second down and goal. Score is still 7-0. Generals on top of the Pride. Coming to you live from Manning Field out of beautiful Lynn, Massachusetts, where the salt seawater is in the air, tickling my nostrils. Beautiful summer August night. Amparo, quick toss to Chris Lane. Chris Lane starts to fight for the corner. Beats one man, has about 3 to go, and is getting tackled right at the corner. Justin Carrion came up to try and make the tackle. Chris Lane was able to juke his way out before he hit the wall on the corner. Pride defense cornered him right at about the 7-yard line, which is going to bring up third down for the Generals. That was the first time I'd seen Amparo not going from the shotgun. As you can see, they are really, really wanting to punch this in to try and get a more cushion on this 7-0 lead they have here at home. The sound of defense can be heard from the Pride sideline as they try and make a goal line stand against Kelvin Amparo and the North Shore Generals. Amparo on a rollout, tries to make someone miss, makes another miss, and it is a touchdown for Kevin Amparo. Second time we have seen him do this. He rolls out into play action and beats the defense one-on-one. And as long as there's no laundry on the field, that's going to bring the score to 13-0, North Shore Generals over your Merrimack Valley Pride. Ladies and gentlemen, we saw it again. Camparo rolls out, goes from the shotgun, looks in the end zone, gets the defense out on their toes. He ducks his head, and Camparo just goes right in for an easy 6. This time, instead of from 30 yards out, he went from about 8 yards out. As we await the extra point, and the kick is up, and the kick is good, which brings the score 14-0, North Shore Generals over your Merrimack Valley Pride, 14-0. 15-10 WUFC Boston bringing you live semi-pro NEFL action from Lynn, Massachusetts this evening. It's a beautiful Saturday evening, not so beautiful for your Merrimack Valley Pride, as though Amari Mobley has a few choice words with the white hat to make sure they know what's going on, because it looks like the Pride's defense right now has no answer for the great quarterback of the North Shore Generals. This broadcast is brought to you again by T&M Roofing from Billerica, Massachusetts. For all your great roofing needs, visit T&M Roofing at tnmroofing.com. As we get set with 11 minutes and 43 seconds to go in this third quarter, the Generals are up 14-0 over your Merrimack Valley Pride. One good thing about this stadium is the amount of fans that the home team has. They seem to have a pretty large following here. It's always good to see support for your local semi-professional teams. And the kick is off. Alexander receives it about the 30, about the 35, breaks another tackle about the 40, brought down at about the 41-yard line. That's the 41-yard line, and that's brought down by, it looks like, Charles Park from Lynn. And the Pride are going to take over, it looks like, right at about the 40-yard line. And the Pride needs some answers. Jason Fisher, I said before, you may want to go to those edges, fight those edges, make those guys come in, then play off. Kelvin Amparo, the quarterback for the Generals, has had an opportunity to break down this defense. And I think Jason Fisher, being roughly a mirror image of Amparo, maybe not as quick, should take a look at this offense on their end as well. Jason Fisher lines up under center in the I formation. Alex Andrews is down low. Ball is snapped. Ball is handed off to Luis Mendoza. Luis Mendoza, the speedster, thrown to the ground defensively by Therick Rock. Again, Therick Rock basically took Luis Mendoza, who's about 5'8", 150 pounds, and threw him about 4 yards the other way. And that's what happens when you run into a defensive prowess as Therick Rock. I spoke with one of the coaches from the North Shore Generals earlier, and he said that was a name I'd be calling a lot this evening. That was the first time I was able to call his name here on this broadcast. But let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. When I say there's a tackling and there's throwing and there's manhandling, Therick Rock was able to manhandle Luis Mendoza on that play. Luis Mendoza subsequently is laying down on the sideline on the far side of the field. That's going to bring up second down for your Merrimack Valley Pride. Jason Fisher under center from the I. Takes the snap, back down for a quick pass, complete. Pass is incomplete to Alex Andrews, who had the ball, was ready to look for his blockers, but dropped it. Looks like that he looked the ball in. The wall was set up for their first, I would say, complete bubble screen that they were going to be able to run, and they did not have an opportunity to do that. Because of that, that's going to bring up third down. You got to catch the ball before you run. You learn that in Pop Warner football. You learn that in high school football. You learn that in college, and you learn that in professional. You catch the ball before you run. And that was a simple situation where he did not catch the ball. That's going to bring up third down. Jason Fisher from the shotgun. Guzman in motion. Fisher back to pass. Ball is in the air. Ball is caught. Ball is complete to Amari Mobley. That's going to move the chains for the first time this quarter. Amari Mobley with the reception, bringing up first down. Fisher going to take over for the first time in Generals territory for this half from the shotgun. Andrew Howard in motion, calls for the ball. Fisher drops back. Ball is thrown deep. And Alex Andrews is tripped up. Looks like they're going to give a penalty. Number 16 was defending Alex Andrews down low. Peter Finch from Lynn ended up tripping Alex Andrews. He's pleading his case right now to the referee that he was simply caught up, but they're not hearing one bit. It's going to be pass interference. That's going to be an automatic first down. And the Pride are going to have a chance to have a scoring opportunity for the second time here at Manning Field. Again, you're listening to 1510 WUSC Boston. That's 1510 AM on the dial. Bringing you all of your great NEFL semi-pro action from Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Maine. We even have some games in Vermont this year that we'll be bringing to you. The Pride are going to take over right at about the 34-yard line. Score stands Generals 14, Pride 0 with 9 minutes and 10 seconds left to go in the third quarter from Manning Field. Jason Fisher brings the troops to the line of scrimmage. Looks like he's going to be lining up in the I formation. The defense back on their toes now, going to be given a little cushion. Amari Mobley goes in motion. With the wait to snap. Fisher drops back, looks, runs out of the pocket. Pocket breaks down. Quick short pass to Amari Mobley. Pass is complete. Defensively, they shut him down quickly. Looks like that was Brian Green on the tackle for a gain of about 2 yards. It's going to bring up second down. What I like about that play from Jason Fisher and Amari Mobley is that they're learning to play a little pitch and catch. Yes, he broke the pocket. What do you do when you break the pocket? You have to come back in and look for your quarterback, and that's exactly what Amari Mobley did. He didn't leave his quarterback hanging. He ran to that side of the field and gave him an opportunity to make, and that's what he did. From the I formation, Jason Fisher's line, we wait the snap. He drops back, looks for the short pass, ducks his head, breaks the pocket, still looking downfield. As he turns upfield, gets about 4 yards, finally taken down, gang tackled at about the 20-yard line by Jamal Malpin. Jason Fisher taking a play out of the Generals quarterback's playbook. Ducks his head, looks for his blocker, finds it. That's going to move the chain. Then that's going to bring up first down for your Merrimack Valley Pride. I can tell you what, the quarterback for the Generals, Kevin Amparo, is on the sideline, definitely looking at what's going to happen in this series. If the Pride can score, there will only be down one touchdown with 7 minutes to go in the third quarter. This is still a football game, ladies and gentlemen. Ball is snapped. Quick handoff to number 25, James Dorr, for maybe about a yard. Brian Green brings him down on the tackle. That's going to bring up second down. I don't like the fact that they slowed down on that play. I was liking the hurried-up offense, and I think the Pride should continue to do that. Get this defense on the field, keep them on the field, tire them out. A couple of defenders for the Generals have hands on their hips. They can only be tired. They've been on the field now for about 6 minutes. As the Pride comes up to the line of scrimmage, Jason Fisher gets his troops ready. Amari Mobley is going to be split out wide. Jason Fisher from the shotgun. Still second down with 6 minutes left to go. Fisher calls for the ball. Checks the defense. Alex Andrews goes in motion. Oh, and there is movement. There is movement on the defensive side. We'll see what the call is. But if I'm a betting man, that's going against the defense. And a lot of times when you go into motion, that's going to happen. And that is going to be an actual false start against the Merrimack Valley Pride. That's going to bring them back a few yards. They'll have to repeat second down. Just under 6 minutes to play. Score is 14-0. Coming to you live from Manning Field on 1510 WUSC Boston. Jason Fisher in the shotgun. Andrews in motion. Calls for the ball. Ball is snapped. Drops back. Pressure. Ball is in the air for Amari Mobley. And the catch is made by Amari Mobley. Barring any laundry on the field, that is going to be the second touchdown of the evening from the Pride, but the first one that stands, that's going to bring the score 14-6. Amari Mobley with the reception from Jason Fisher. I can only imagine the Generals quarterback was watching that, is wondering, is he going to be able to bring the troops back with 5 minutes to go before the fourth to answer that play? As we await the extra point, Jason Fisher on the touchdown pass to Amari Mobley, bringing the score to 14-6. This is Brad Johnson on 1510 WUSC Boston. Follow me on Twitter at B Johnson Radio. Again, on Twitter at B Johnson Radio. As we await the extra point, Justin Carrion is going to be kicking. Ball is down. Ball is blocked. Ball is in the air. And it looks like it's going to be wrestled down by the Pride. The extra point is no good as the ball was blocked. Justin Carrion physically and visibly upset as he throws his helmet about 20 yards down the track. And I can tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, no matter what level you play football, should you ever throw your helmet like Justin Carrion just did. With 5 minutes and 33 seconds left to go here at Manning Field, the score stands 14-6. Your Merrimack Valley Pride had a lone touchdown score on a pass from Jason Fisher to Amari Mobley. And with that, we await the kickoff. Want to give a big shout-out to Jay Bryant's Barbecue for being a sponsor again this year. Jay Bryant's Barbecue, some of the best barbecue in town. I have to say I've had many, many opportunities to get over and enjoy some great food from them. Again, that's Jay Bryant's Football. That's down on Union Street. Back deep, looks like for the Generals, it looks like we have Johnson and Smith back deep. Teddy Francois looks to receive it. Francois takes it at about the 15, at the 20, at the 25, the 30. Wrestles back down, breaks another tackle, still on his feet, finds it down on the play, taken down right at the 23-yard line, broke about 6 tackles for that return of 12 yards. There is a flag on the play. Let's wait to see what the White Hat has to say. Looks like there's some dissension on the Pride. A couple players are screaming at each other. That can only mean one thing. There were some tackling lanes and some blocking assignments that weren't adhered to. Still awaiting the call. There's going to be a face mask against the Pride. And you know what that means? Face masking someone on a kickoff just means you got beat. And that's the lazy way to do it, young guys. The lazy way to do it. Whenever you see a face masking call on a kickoff, that means someone got beat. One thing about Lynn, Massachusetts is I sat in the open box field of the press box. Mosquitoes are mosquitoes everywhere. I'm killing 4 or 5 at a time right now. But we're going to continue to do that as we only have 5 minutes and 20 seconds left to go here in the third quarter on 1510 WUFC Boston, live from Manning Field. Camparo from the shotgun with a quick handoff to Chris Lane for about 9 yards. Not sure if that's enough to get the first down. It does look like they are moving the chains. That is going to be another first down for the heralded running back, Chris Lane. Camparo again hands off to Chris Lane as he finds his way down the line. Is sacked after about 3 yards on the play. That's going to bring up second down. I'm seeing a lot more this quarter from Kelvin Amparo. He is actually going under center. Normally, we see him from the shotgun, which gives him a little bit more versatility to work with. But he has done a lot from under center. As first down comes up, Amparo from the shotgun. Amparo ducks his head, bounces to the outside, picks up about 6 yards, 7 yards still on his feet. Finally brought down at the 35-yard line. It looks like David Carrion with the tackle. Now there's a flag on the field, a late flag after the tackle. I can only imagine there's a personal conduct foul. Awaiting the call, but anytime you have a late penalty flag like that after the tackle was made, something happened after the play was done. Here comes the call from the white hat. Looks, that's exactly what I thought. Unsportsmanlike conduct going against the offense. That's going to bring Amparo's team back 15 yards. Kelvin Amparo is visibly shaken and upset as he is screaming with his coach right at about the 50-yard line. That's going to make them repeat first down. They now have 50 yards to go. Kelvin Amparo jogs back to his truce. I can only imagine what the head coach was just saying to him right there, and that's the quarterback's job, to get everyone calmed down. They do have a lead of 14-6 with just under 4 minutes to play in the third quarter. Kelvin Amparo from the shotgun calls for the ball. Amparo takes the snap, drops back, ball is in the air. David Carrion on the attempt, and they do call the ball. It is a reception. It was a reception. Dimitri did it on about a 40-yard reception. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. When Amparo goes back out of the shotgun, he takes about a 3-step drop, and then his release is so fast. His 3-step drop it's so quick that the defenders here for the Pride are having trouble finding the ball, and that's exactly what happened there. Quick handoff to Chris Lane. Chris Lane battles his way through, fumble on the play. And are they going to call it a fumble, or are they going to call Chris Lane down? And they are going to call a touchback for the Pride. They are going to call a touchback. Chris Lane, at the very end of the play, it seems that he had the ball knocked loose from Luis Mendoza. Mendoza, at the very end of the play, right when he was on the ground, Chris Lane was not able to hold on to the ball. That's going to bring out Merrimack Valley Pride's offense onto the field with 3 minutes and 12 seconds left to go here at Manning Field. They are still down by a touchdown. You're listening to Brad Johnson on 1510 WUFC Boston, home of your NEFL Merrimack Valley Pride. As the offense gets set, we're going to be able to see if the Generals defense can hold. The one thing you'd never want to see is a score after a turnover. Jason Fisher brings his troops to the line of scrimmage from the eye. Jason Fisher rolls out, breaks the pocket, rolls out again, finds another block, headed to the sideline. Can he make that one beat? He does make the beat. Picks up about 1 yard after running for about 30. But Fisher escapes being sacked. There was some great acrobatics going on in the backfield on that play there. He should have been sacked 3 or 4 times, but he was able to break out of those situations. That's going to bring up second down. Like I said, he ran 30 yards to get 1, but he was able to avoid the sack. Great blocking by number 73 from the Pride. And I hate to have to keep saying this, but that was David Figueroa, the recipient of the chop block that would have had this game tied on the initial touchdown to Alex Andrews earlier in the first half. Quick toss out to Jonathan De Los Santos. De Los Santos hits the corner, breaks one tackle, breaks another. Finally tackled at about the 23-yard line. That's going to bring up third down. De Los Santos is definitely a speedster. Did get to the corner, but was tackled by the defense before he could pick up any more yards. That's going to bring up about third and 4. Let's see how they are on conversion. They are 1 for 1 on third down conversions in today's game. With 1:41 the clock ticking, Jason Fisher brings his troops to the line of scrimmage. Fisher lines up from the shotgun, calls for the ball. Thomas Howard in motion. Howard goes across the bow. Ball is dropped. Quick pass to Amari Mobley. Caught over the middle. Amari Mobley wrestles for a first down. And Amari Mobley gets a beautiful, quick reception for a first down. Look at those chains move, ladies and gentlemen. Look at those chains move. If you're a Merrimack Valley Pride player right now, that's what you want to see this drive. Because as we tick down with less than a minute to go in the third quarter, the fourth quarter is coming upon us quickly, and this is what you want to see, those chains moving. They have got to make a touchdown to keep in this game because, ladies and gentlemen, Kelvin Amparo and his offense will be coming back on the field. Fisher from the shotgun, Howard in motion. Fisher drops back, breaks the pocket, tucks it, runs, tries to hit the corner. Taken out of bounds, picks up about 2 yards on the play. Pass was definitely intended for Alex Andrews, but he was covered. So Jason Fisher had to take cover, run to the sideline, and there's no gain on the play. That's going to bring up second down for Fisher and the Pride. 20 seconds left to go. Let's see if they get a playoff before we head to the fourth quarter. And as they break the huddle with 7 seconds left to go, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think they're going to get this playoff. I do not think they're going to get this playoff, and they do not. That is the end of the third quarter with the score 14-6 here at Manning Field. I'm Brad Johnson coming to you live on 1510 WUFC Boston. Manning Field, the setting tonight for the highlighted New England Football League semi-pro game of the week between the North Shore Generals and the Merrimack Valley Pride. Kelvin Amparo and his offense has led his team to a 14-6 lead over the Pride today. Both touchdowns from the Generals have come from the feet of Kelvin Amparo. The lone touchdown for the Generals have come from Jason Fisher's arm and Omar Mobley's acrobatic catch in the end zone. The Generals will have the ball. It is going to be second down for the Pride as they try and tie this game up going into the fourth quarter. If they do score here, ladies and gentlemen, what can the defense do to have an answer for Kelvin Amparo's feet? They're going to have an answer if Jason Fisher can get his troops down the field. They've got 15 minutes to do it in. The crowd is behind them. Let's see what they can make happen here. Jason Fisher brings his troops to the line, lines up in the I formation. Omar and Mobley spread out wide. Fisher calls for the ball. Ball is snapped. Fisher drops back, looks left, looks right, breaks the pocket, gets away. Then it's finally sacked by number 97. Eddie Hugh found Jason Fisher all alone outside of the pocket. Fisher had no answer on that sack and had to take it. When you have an injury on the field, a Pride player is down. That looks like that's going to be Juan Olivio, who might have taken a knee right to his ankle. Juan Olivio rolls over on his back as the trainers come around to see him. That's going to bring up 3rd and 8 for the Pride. The Pride are having their backs against the wall as we have a short moment of rest as Juan Olivio is being attended to. Once again, you're listening to New England Football League semi-pro action on 1510 WUFC Boston, coming to you live from Manning Field in beautiful, salty-smelling Revere, Massachusetts, where your Merrimack Valley Pride are behind the North Shore Generals 14-6 with 14 minutes and 39 seconds left in the ball game, as we can only hope that Juan Olivio is doing okay. He is on the field and being helped up gingerly. And that is a correction. That is actually Bear Honar, not Juan Olivio, Bear Honar, who was the injured player, as the crowd gives him a round of applause as he is helped off the field gingerly. Always good to see the home team or the opposing team cheering on the injured player. It's all sportsmanship, ladies and gentlemen. You got to learn it. Like I always say, teamwork first, but then safety, but always teamwork first, and that's what we like to see. That's going to bring up 3rd and 14 for the Pride as Jason Fisher takes the snap from the I formation. Alex Andrews is split out wide. Jonathan De Los Santos in the backfield. Andrews takes the ball, drops back. Santos with the reception, gets off one tackle, goes across the field, has some running room, gets across one more at the 42, run down behind at about the 42-yard line. That's going to move the chains, and that's exactly what the Merrimack Valley Pride want to do. As the crowd reacts to that humongous reception by Jonathan De Los Santos, which is going to move the chains, Jason Fisher fought a quick little hitch right outside the pocket, found him. De Los Santos took it for about 17 yards on the yak, as we like to call it. And his yak numbers, yards after catch, is really piling up this game. That's going to bring up first down. Jason Fisher from the shotgun. They are now in enemy territory, knocking on the door of the North Shore Generals. Jason Fisher calls for the ball, drops back, looks for it, quick pass to Amari Mobley, pass is caught. Amari Mobley tries to break free, does not. Taken down by about 3 different Generals players for a pickup of about 4 yards on the reception. That's going to bring up second down with 12 minutes and 50 seconds. The clock is running. The Generals are still up 14-6. Jason Fisher seems to be taking his time and methodically dissecting this Generals defense. They've got to be tired, ladies and gentlemen. They've been on the field for a while. Again, I can only imagine the Generals offense chomping at the bit, waiting to get in. Fisher backs the pass, drops the ball, still on his feet, looks downfield. Now he tucks it, runs it, finally hustled out of bounds at about the 33-yard line. The Generals the Pride are looking for a flag for a late hit on the sideline. Jason Fisher's helmet's off. He seems mighty frustrated as well. The Pride are looking for a first down on that play, at least a penalty, as they think that there was a late hit on the Pride quarterback on the sideline. They're not going to get anything as Coach Seabird viciously pleads his case to the sideline judge. Nothing is going to come out of it. And they do give it to them. Nope, they're going to keep it there. It is going to be third down. I was thinking that Seabird was going to get the win on that one. You got to go back and work on your debating skills there, Coach, because that line judge was having none of it. 11-17 left to go in the game. Generals still up 14-6. 3rd and 1. The Pride were able to convert this last time on a 3rd and short. Let's see if they can do the same. Jonathan De Los Santos is in at quarterback. Fumbles the ball. Fumbles it again. Ball is on the ground. Jonathan De Los Santos, not the normal quarterback. Jason Fisher is. And it is going to be recovered by the Pride. That is a 4th down. Jonathan De Los Santos, I can only imagine his nervousness under center. I can't even imagine what Coach Keith Shear was thinking, putting De Los Santos under center for such an important play. I don't understand what he was thinking on that. With 10 minutes and 20 seconds left to go in the 4th quarter, it looks like the Pride are going to go for it. With it being 4th and 2, you really have no shot at it. This is kind of what you have to do in this situation. This could be a make or break because the Generals will just have to run the clock down for a little while. Howard in motion. The defense is creeping. Defense creeping. Ball is snapped. Jason Fisher takes off right up the middle. Does he hold? Defense stops him. They try and bring him. I don't think he's going to get it, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think he's going to get it, ladies and gentlemen. And he does not pick up the first down as Jason Fisher tried to push his way up for 2 yards for the first down, and he does not get it. The ball is turned over on downs with 9 minutes and 49 seconds to go. And ladies and gentlemen, here comes Kelvin Amparo and the Northwestern Generals. You're listening to NEFL action of 1510 WUFC Boston. I'm Brad Johnson, coming to you live from Manning Field in Revere, Mass. And this is going to be going down to the wire, it looks like, gentlemen. If we get a turnover, there is still an opportunity. Here we are. Kelvin Amparo from the shotgun. Takes the ball, roll out, long pass, looking for number 9. Pass was intended for number 9, Sampson, and he could not pull it in. That pass was defended by Luis Ramon. That's going to bring up second down as Amparo takes a quick second to speak with his coach on the sideline. With 9 minutes and 40 seconds to go, clock is ticking. Generals up 14-6 in this Saturday night NEFL semi-pro action. Beautiful night this evening. Anytime you're in Lynn, you can smell the seawater really, really close to you. Nice, cool Massachusetts August Saturday evening. Amparo under center. One back set. Fake toss. Drops back. Pass over the middle to number 11. Number 11 at the 30-yard line. Jesse Pierce cuts the defense right through the middle. It looks like the safeties almost ran into each other on that play as Jesse Pierce was able to cut the defense from about 22 yards on that. And that's going to bring up first down with 8 minutes and 40 seconds to go. This is exactly what Kelvin Amparo had drawn up. Now it's going to be up to the Merrimack Valley Pride's defense for an answer on that last humongous play. Kelvin Amparo brings his troops to the line of scrimmage under center, one back set. Takes the ball, quick toss. Chris Lane hits the corner. Is he going to get out? And he does. Chris Lane picks up about a yard on that toss. That's going to bring up second down for your North Shore Generals. Again, we want to thank our sponsors, Jay Bryant's Barbecue and TW Roofing. As we come up right at the 8-minute mark, ball is on the 31-yard line as Kelvin Amparo is lining up in the shotgun. Ball is in motion, quick handoff. He gets around the corner, taken down by number 4 from the Pride, and that was a nice stick by Jose Baroa. Good form tackle, put his head right across his numbers and drove him straight into the ground. Jose Baroa, one of the smaller safeties for the Pride, but was able to come up and support on that quick toss. I have a feeling that Kelvin Amparo's number is going to be called pretty soon as we are in his territory. Both touchdowns from the Generals have been scored by this speedy quarterback, and it's usually done right around now. Kelvin Amparo, just as I said, with the keeper, finds a blocker, takes off. There is a flag on the play as Amparo is wrestled down to the ground by Omari Mobley. Let's see what the laundry on the field is, waiting from the call from the White Hat. Time is 6:57 in the fourth. Camparo visibly shaken on that play. We have a personal foul, face mask against the offense. That's going to bring them back as Amparo is limping to the sideline. You're listening to NFL action on 1510 WUFC Boston, coming to you live from Manning Field. Kelvin Amparo comes off of the field. It looks to me he was grabbing his hip earlier. He is now laying on the ground, getting attended to by the trainers. That's going to have them repeating third down. Let's see who they have for a replacement at quarterback. At quarterback, it looks like we may have Aaron Cobbs coming in to replace Kelvin Amparo as he's being attended to. He took a pretty hard hit on that keeper. This is not the first time we've seen Aaron Cobbs in for the Generals as he lines up in the shotgun, usually plays receiver, takes the snap. Aaron Cobbs drops back, looks, long pass, downfield, almost intercepted. Pass was intended for Jesse Pierce, defended that time by Jose Baroa. That's going to bring up fourth down. Kelvin Amparo looks to be coming back into the game, but with it being fourth and long, not quite sure how much damage can be done or if they're willing to give the Pride the ball back with 6 minutes and 32 seconds left to go in this game of play. The Merrimack Valley Pride fans coming all the way from Lawrence, Massachusetts are on their feet across the field, just praying and hoping to get another shot at this. Kelvin Amparo brings his troops to the line of scrimmage with just at 6 minutes to play. Amparo from the shotgun takes the snap, drops back, looks, Tips it himself. One juke, two juke. At the 40, at the 30, he's still on his feet, ladies and gentlemen, running over the sideline, breaks another tackle. Before he's brought down for a first down, Kelvin Amparo showing it again what his feet can do for these North Shore Generals of Lynn, Massachusetts. Kelvin Amparo picks up the first down. It was a long one, too, ladies and gentlemen. It was 4th and 14. Number 73 for the Merrimack Valley Pride, David Figueroa, was really the only one who had a chance, and Figueroa did not have an opportunity to bring down the speedy Amparo. And with that, it's 1st and 10 with 5 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Let's see what type of answer the Pride defense has as Amparo calls for the ball from shotgun. Quick ball snap, quick handoff to Chris Lane. Picks up about 2 yards on the carry. He's going to bring up 2nd down. We're just under 5 minutes to play here at Manning Field in Lynn, Massachusetts. Only on 1510 WUFC Boston. Ladies and gentlemen, this is about our 4th game of the season. I have to say Kelvin Amparo is probably the most athletic quarterback I've seen so far in this league. He has been able to do it with his feet and his arm. With 4 minutes and 30 seconds left to go, Amparo again from the shotgun. Quick handoff to Chris Lane up the middle. Taken down by Luis Mendoza for about 3 yards. Going to bring up 3rd down. Amparo comes over to the sideline to talk things over. A little strategy with his head coach to see what they're going to do. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, the clock is not stopping as we are now under 4 minutes to go. Score is still 14-6. Generals over your Merrimack Valley Pride here at Manning Field. Merrimack Valley Pride's defense will have to make a stand here if they have any chance of staying in for this game. Caparo and Chris Lane are in the backfield. Caparo is back in shotgun formation. Jesse Pierce back. Caparo for the ball. Chris Lane catches it. And Chris Lane catches a short pass. It is now 1st and goal. The defense seemed to be caught off guard there. It looks like the corner bit on that go route. And when the corner bit on it, Chris Lane was left all alone in the flat. Amparo just floated out at about a 5-10 yard floater right to Chris Lane. Chris Lane broke 1 tackle, got a 2 yaks. We love those yards after catches. And he was able to pick up the first down. It's now 1st and goal with 2 minutes and 50 seconds left to go in the ball game. The Merrimack Valley Pride playing so hard this game, they would be tied if not for David Figueroa penalty earlier in the first half. And it looks like we're going to have a timeout for the Merrimack Valley Pride as they take a timeout here. You're listening to New England Football League semi-pro action only on 1510 WUFC Boston. You can hear us live every weekend, Saturdays or Sundays, depending on the schedule. You can hear us in your radio at 1510 a.m. or on the TuneIn app. Just dial in 1510 WUFC on your Apple iPhone or on your Android device, or you can just go to www.tunein.com to hear all of your Merrimack Valley Pride action. And let's get back to some of that action, ladies and gentlemen, with 2 minutes and 36 seconds left to go here at Manning Field. Your North Shore Generals are 1st and goal. Let's see how the Merrimack Valley Pride's defense will handle it. Quick handoff to Chris Lane, and he dives in for a touchdown. Chris Lane with a quick handoff for a touchdown. Without any laundry on the field, it is going to stand. Score is now 20-6 with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left to go here at Manning Field. That was a very, very quick handoff, ladies and gentlemen. Caparo took the ball from under center, got a really quick handoff. The exchange between Amparo and Lane tonight has been phenomenal. They are really in sync in what they have been able to do against this Merrimack Valley Pride. The scoreboard says it all. That is the first rushing touchdown for Chris Lane of the evening. Extra point kick is up, and it is good, which brings our score to 21-6 here at Manning Field. With 2 minutes and 30 seconds left to go, if Jason Fisher has any speed up, hurried up, quick, hot, fire, whatever offense you want to call for your hurry up 2 minutes, this is the time to use it because, ladies and gentlemen, down 2 touchdowns, you're going to have to really go for it. I also want to see what special teams has in store for the Merrimack Pride. I'm taking a look right now at the Generals sideline, and they seem very, very satisfied with that drive. That drive lasted about 7 minutes, and they basically pushed that defensive line of the Merrimack Valley Pride around. There have been some shining spots for the Pride this evening. Again, the score would have been tied if not for a chop block call. There was an earlier pass to Alex Andrews from Jason Fisher earlier in the game, but it was called back. The score would have been now 21-14. Because of the call, the score is 21-6 on a lone touchdown reception from Amari Mobley. Back deep to receive for the Pride are Ramon Herrera and Jason De Los Santos. The kick is up. De Los Santos looks, and it sails over Jonathan De Los Santos' head, and it will be a touchback. And as we wait for the right field, the right teams to come on, I want to give a big shout-out to Jay Bryant Barbecue on Union Street. I want to say thank you. They're at 615 Union Street in Lawrence. Also want to give a big shout-out to TM Roofing in Billerica, Massachusetts. TM Roofing for all your roofing needs. You can find them at www.tmroofing.com. I also want to give a big shout-out and a big happy birthday to Megan Murphy of Wilmington, whose birthday was today. I was invited to a wonderful barbecue earlier at her house. I want to say thank you for that. And also, we were in a wonderful christening this morning for our wonderful good friend Howard and Aaron Gagne's daughter, Charlotte. I want to say congratulations on her baptism. Jason Fisher takes the snap from shotgun, complete to Thomas Howard for about 4 yards, bulls his way to the 40-yard line for a pickup of a first down. The clock is running, 2 minutes and 17 seconds. It looks like there may be an injured Pride player down. The clock does stop at 2 minutes and 10 seconds as we do have an injured Merrimack Valley Pride player down on the far side of the field. That was the ball carrier, Thomas Howard, who was shaken up on the play, limps off. Clock is now running 2 minutes. If I were the Pride, I'd be calling the timeout right about now, but they do not. They just break the huddle. Jason Fisher does not seem to be trying to hurry up at all, waiting for his troops to get settled from the shotgun, waiting the ball. Ball is snapped. Ball is thrown over the middle to Ramon Herrera for the quick completion for about 4 yards. Clock is still running at 1:30. Again, there seems to be no hurry up at all out of this offense. And I don't like to see that. I want to say you fight to the end. But because of that, there is no stoppage at all from the Pride's team. It looks like they're going to play this one out with a minute left to go. Fisher drops back, looks downfield, tucks the ball and runs instead. He's at the 50, he's at the 47, and he's tackled right at the 47-yard line. That is going to be the first down for the Pride. That's about their fourth first down of the game. The scoreboard does not show what really happened, and that goes for both teams. The Generals' offense was led by quarterback Calvin Amparo. Fisher back to pass. Pass is incomplete, intended for Amari Mobley. Incomplete for John. It was intended for Jonathan De Los Santos. With 34 seconds left to go, I would have to say the MVP of the game will be going to North Shore's Kelvin Amparo, quarterback for the North Shore Generals. He will be receiving the MVP of tonight's game. He was able to secure 2 of the touchdowns by his feet. Again, number 12 is one of the quicker quarterbacks that I've seen in the NFL. 34 seconds left to go. Jason Fisher calls for the ball, drops back in the shotgun, releases. Wide open, Alex Andrews with the catch down the sideline, right at the 20-yard line. You can only imagine that the defense of the Generals are playing very, very soft to allow them. But with that being said, first down at the 20-yard line. The clock is running. Are they going to call a timeout? Finally, the Pride call a timeout with 24.7 seconds left to go on the clock. And we finally get a timeout. I can see Coach Keith Shear talking it over with the troops. What can you do on here? Make a quick score, send your hand team on, recover it, Hail Mary. Can all that be accomplished with 24.7 seconds? Reality says no, but I've seen enough football games in the movies that say yes. So what's tonight, a reality game or a football movie game? It's a reality game. You're listening to New England Football League semi-pro action on 1510 WUXC. First down at the 20-yard line for the Pride. Fisher from the shotgun takes the snap. Quick pass over the middle, intercepted, but dropped by number 45 of the Generals. And that would have been the end of the game, ladies and gentlemen. And if he would have been able to hold on to that ball, that would have been the end of this game here. The end in Lynn. How's that sound? The end in Lynn if he would have been able to hold on to that ball. But he was not. That was Surek Rock. Second time I'm calling the defensive stud's name. That's going to bring up second down. Jason Fisher from the shotgun drops back. Ball is in the air, throwing to Amari Mobley. Amari Mobley in the air, drops the ball. Amari Mobley had a jump. And when I say a mismatch, Amari Mobley had about 6 inches on the corner, and that's a pass that he usually makes. In fact, that's the exact pass that he made in the end zone in the third quarter for the Pride's only touchdown. This time, Amari Mobley was unable to come down with the catch. 13.7 seconds left to go. Third down. They've got about 20 yards to go. Score is 21-6. Let's see what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned. Jason Fisher from the shotgun. Early movement on the line. Flag. Everyone's jumping. Let's wait till the melee's cleared. Let's see what the call is going to be from the White Hat. It's going to be offside on the defense. They were very, very eager to get at the quarterback. That's going to cost them 5 yards. It looked like about 3 defensive linemen were ready to jump off and take Jason Fisher's head off for the exclamation point at the end of this game, but the referees were able to catch it. Repeating third down. Fisher from the shotgun drops it. Ball is thrown. Intercepted by number 27. No one is going to catch number 27 as he runs. Omari Mobley's the only man who can possibly catch him. He outruns him. He's going to go to the end zone, and that's going to be the end of the game with an interception from number 27 on the Generals. Amari Basil puts the exclamation mark, and that is the end of the game, ladies and gentlemen. The score is 27-6. Jason Fisher throws an interception right at the 5-yard line. Jason Basil takes it back 95 yards. And ladies and gentlemen, that's how you end a football game. You've been listening to Brad Johnson on the NEFL semi-pro action on 1510 WUSC. You can follow me on Twitter at @BJohnsonRadio. Really appreciate you guys listening. We'll be coming back to you next week. I'm going to be leaving you this evening to our regular Fox Sports programming, but at the end, score Generals 27, the Pride 6 player of the game is going to be Kelvin Amparo, quarterback for the Generals, and the player of the game for the Pride for the third week in a row with the only touchdown reception is Omari Mobley. You're listening to Brad Johnson on 1510 WUFC Boston. I'll see you next week. Enjoy your preseason football, ladies and gents.